Rock 102.1 KFMA again. Now, those tickets that we have up for grabs is Breaking Ben and 3 Days Grace, October 8th. And I want to play a game as I'm hanging out here with my friends Valdez and new friend Cody Bowling, the center for your Tucson Sugar Skulls. All right, let's meet our contestants here. Going to play the last word, and sore loser rules will be implemented. On line one, we have Adrian. Good morning, Adrian.
What's up?
All right, line two, we got Brad. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning.
All right. Now we're going to play the last word, best 2 out of 3, and sore loser rules will be implied. So the loser will decide whether the winner will walk away with a pair of tickets or I hang up on both contestants, giving the loser a second opportunity to potentially win and give these tickets out to caller number 69. These tickets do go on sale today at 10 a.m. So if you want them, you can grab them or just stick around and you might be able to win them. All right. So we'll do best of 3. It's our verbal hot potato game. 30 seconds on the clock will begin when I finish asking the first question, and we'll start off with line one, Adrian. Adrian, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Adrian, name something that would instantly ruin a romantic date at Olive Garden. Go.
Them not giving enough Parmesan cheese.
All right, Brad.
Give me hard breadsticks.
Hard breadstick. Okay, Adrian.
A phone call from your wife.
Okay, Brad.
Damn,
there's a fly in my soup.
Fly in the food. Okay, Adrian.
You're lactose intolerant.
No, you didn't get it there in time. We're going to give that up to Brad there. Also, number one answer on the board, asking, is your ex bigger than this breadstick? All right, here we go. Let's start off with the second round here. That was the number one answer on the board. Don't come at me.
Who's
Brad,
bored?
The board, dude. Okay, maybe I've done that before. Okay, but you know what? It was a small breadstick. And I'll just see what I was working with. All right, Brad, 30 seconds on the clock. We'll begin when I finish asking this question. Adrian, you need to win this round to stay in the game, okay?
I got it.
All right, here we go. Brad, if your grandma suddenly became a supervillain, what would be her evil catchphrase? Go.
Oh, man.
Any day
I
now.
don't even know.
Come on. All right, Adrian.
Oh, gosh. Chancla slapper.
Okay, Brad.
The towel whipper.
All right, Adrian.
Eat your vegetables or I'll get you.
There you go. Giving it to Adrian there. Eat your vegetables or I'll get ya. That was a good one. Also, I will say this, number one answer on the board. I just took my teeth out. Right. All right. Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Don't come at me because these are number one answers on the board. And don't give me that look of disappointment there, Valdez. All right. We're all tied up. We're going into the third and final round. Whoever wins this round will technically be the winner, and it'll be up to the loser to decide what will happen from there.
Damn.
Okay. So here we go. 30 seconds on the board will begin. I asked this question yesterday, but I feel like it's a good enough one to ask again. Okay. Name a weird reason. Oh, it was Adrian. Name a weird reason you get kicked out of a funeral. Go.
For groping the deceased.
Yep.
Ooh.
Groping the corpse. Number one answer. Brad.
Ooh, I was going to say taking a selfie with them.
There you go.
Oh, there you
Adrian.
For trying to hit on the widow.
Yes.
Oh.
Nice. Brad.
Put my fingers in the punch bowl.
Okay. Adrian.
For just showing up for some food.
For just showing up for some food.
I mean, that's the only reason I go to.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I don't know. It's not. What do you guys say? Valdez and Cody is Adrian's answer, which barely he started before the time ran out. Was this acceptable in the last word or unacceptable answer? And we give this a round to Brad. Going with Cody. Cody, make that decision for us. You're 6'2", 300 pounds. They're not going to come at you.
I love my food, so any answer with food.
You're going to say it's acceptable?
Yeah.
Okay, and Valdez, you agree?
I agree. The offensive line here agrees.
All right, well, that's good news for Adrian. Adrian, you're technically our winner in the last word. All right, but now it's up to you, Brad. Brad, do you feel like you got screwed out of this game?
No, I think Adrian deserves those tickets.
All right, so you are going to take the high road
Sweet.
and give Adrian tickets for Breaking Ben and 3 days grace.
Yes.
All right.
I will. Congrats, Adrian.
There you go. Sore or loser rules
Thanks,
are
Brad.
not implied today. And I'll tell you what, you got some instant karma coming your way, Brad. I'm going to hook you up with a $20 gift certificate to Tucson Games and Gadgets.
Yeah.
That's available. You can use that at any other 3 locations, okay? So thank you for being a good dude.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, Adrian, stay on the line. We'll see you at Breaking Ben in 3 days grace on October. What you see right now is Josh Kennedy. From the Black Moods constantly. And I want you guys to know, or I want you guys to tell me how the volume is with Josh. Welcome back, Josh. And we're going to get Chrissy from Tucson Doobie in studio here because we'll be talking 420 stuff with her a little bit later. But Josh is on because him and the Black Moods, they're coming back to Tucson, and that's happening this Saturday. So I'm stoked about that. This is Valdez. Go ahead and say hi to Josh. Get your mic.
Hi,
in front
Josh.
of
I'm
your face.
Valdez. Sorry, I'm getting her all lined up.
Yeah, you do that. All right. And I'll catch up here with Josh. You joining us from the Black Moves cave?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
In all its glory.
In all of its glory. First and foremost, before we talk about everything else, you got a lineup change. You got Brendan in the band now. When did you get Brendan involved?
It's been a long time coming. He actually played with us several years ago before we had the last guy that was with us, and he couldn't join us because Brendan's a really good bass player and he's popular amongst the Phoenix bands. So
yeah, he's in Wives and a bunch of he's always in bands. He was in Sarah Robinson's band for a while.
Yeah, so at the time he couldn't really commit to, because if you're a Black Mood, you're a Black Mood. It's kind of
yeah. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, he couldn't commit to that, and so we had to go elsewhere. And then so now finally we're lucky enough that we have him in our midst. So
yes, and it's a great addition. But you did say the last guy, you didn't even mention his name and stuff. Is there some contention there, or is it all good?
No, not really. He just had to go and do other things, and so it's nothing you can really put into kind of just someone that was there for a bit. It checks out and has other priorities, that's really all it is.
Well, no, I get that, because if you're going to do this, you have to be all in, right? It's a lifestyle that you've done.
It's not for the faint of heart, and there's just his priorities changed, and Chico's and I's have not, and luckily we got Brendan, so he just stepped right in, we didn't miss a beat, so it's nice.
Yeah, he already knew most of the songs and everything, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He played in Tucson with us years ago when we just filled in. So we've been working on new songs already. We had to go to LA and recut a bunch of stuff. So we're good.
I was reading that too, and I'm gonna pull up my Facebook page here because I shared your guys' cover of Tucson Weekly. So Black Moods are the cover of this week's Tucson Weekly, if you go and find one of those wherever they may be. And then Josh, this is Chrissy, this is Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Get close to the microphone. Come on.
Jesus.
Don't be
I
afraid.
don't even know where to look. Can I just look at you?
You can just look at me. You don't have to.
Hey,
And then, Valdez, you can point the computer so you can see Josh. Josh is a rock star, certifiable.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and then they're going to be playing what's going to be the sold out rock this Saturday night. So this was a great interview that Tucson Weekly did too. So I saw a bunch of great name drops as far as producers that you're working with here, and it's a big deal. Yeah. So let me get on the air, kind of reset the table, let people know what we're doing here, and then I got a little treat for you, Josh.
Love treats.
You love treats.
I don't know about this early in the morning, but sure.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Well, I'm joined by Josh Josh Kennedy from the Black Moods, who's performing this Saturday at the Rock on the podcast broadcast. Also, our good friend Chrissy from Tucson Doobie's in studio. Valdez still hanging out, and he's powered by tacos. The treat that I am going to give you, Josh, is actually a treat for us because I got Larry Mack right now setting up the new single from the Black Moods for me to debut on this radio program this hour.
Oh, okay.
Is that not good?
Yeah, I think I sent it to him.
You did. You texted to him, which don't ever do that. You got to email that kind of stuff. So he's got to figure out technology. But once he does, before the show is over, I am going to play new music from the Black Moons. But we are going down the rabbit hole with Josh, and we're going to be talking up their performance this Saturday at the Rock, which is sure to be a party because the Black Moons always brings the party. You can join us on youtube.com/bevegan for the podcast broadcast. We'll be back after music from Wage War on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. Yeah. You text. And then, of course, we got Chrissy in because we're going to be talking 420 and all the weed stuff that we can't talk about on the air. Right. But, with 420 coming around, and the 420 is perfect timing because I'm literally just running out of all the free weed that I got from the last 420.
It's perfect.
Yeah. But like whenever you go to a 420 event, right? You're so blessed because these dispensaries and these growers, they have an overabundance of money and flow, and they have more giveaway merch than any other name. Like it makes our giveaways look dismal, like nothing, right?
They're giving away a Ferrari this time.
Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Are they really giving away a Ferrari?
No,
Oh, okay.
Who's
What?
they? Your place?
It's a gullible.
Oh shit. Okay. No, I would believe it because they're printing money, at this point. But last 420, I went around. I ended up getting this lunchbox. I got a couple ounces of flour. I got tons of carts. I got tons of full gram joints, edibles, oils, the whole nine.
Yeah.
And it literally took me 365 days to go through all of it. And I still have a bunch of flour left. But, I'm kind of pacing myself till next week.
Right.
So I could re-up on my free shit again.
Yes. And then you're set for the year. And then that's great for you. Some people are only set for like a few hours.
No, I know.
It's tolerance.
It's
so
inexpensive.
true.
That's why I suggest any stoners out there, if you're going through hundreds of dollars worth of weed, detox for a couple weeks, reset your tolerance. And then, you could hit it and quit it.
Or they could just join our club too. We've got our membership club, and that'll give them $8,000 worth of weed for $19 a month. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
$8,000 worth of weed for $19.
for $19.
We'll talk about that.
The
Yeah.
math doesn't math, but I like that
Yeah.
math.
Oh, it maths.
Josh is asking,
It's
a
the
weed?
math we like.
Is it a weed subscription?
So it's a membership club, and you become a member, and then you can go into dispensaries, and they take the products off your bill. You redeem everything in the app. We've got a number of different brands on there, so something for everyone in it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Josh said I'd be set for an afternoon, or Todd said that. Josh, do you even smoke? Do you partake in that?
Yeah, it's got to be away from people.
Yes. Yes.
My own head, and I can smoke a joint and clean the studio, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
It's not a social.
We used to sit around and smoke, hit the bong and all this kind of crazy shit. But nowadays I just can't. It's so strong too. It's holy shit.
All right, we're getting
so
back on the
good.
air, so no cursing. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're with Josh Kennedy of the Black Moons, Chrissy for Tucson Doobie, and Valdez. I was asking Josh if he partook, which it does, but not socially. And I'm kind of like the same way, right? And I have, I know that we have the Pima County Fair event coming up here soon, the KFMA 3-way. And now that, marijuana is legalized in Arizona, and I talk a big game, So when listeners see me, and they smoke, they want to smoke with me, right? As something cool to,
Right.
they're showing love. And I appreciate it. And I feel like a jerk to say no. So this happens to me every time where I'm like, well, I really appreciate that. And that's a really nice offer. So sure, I'll take a hit of your magical, whatever the hell, which finger you're lighting up. And then I'll hit it in instant regret every single time. And then I'm like, I'm in a public place. I'm spinning. I'm freaking out. And I'm just in my head, I'm just keep it together, bro. Keep it together. So I understand. You're kind of the same way there.
Yeah, people come to me before the show or something and want to burn one, and you're like, I can barely remember the words as it is.
Right.
You're like, did I write this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to tell that to musicians. Like, you've been to my house up in Phoenix before when I was hosting my morning show up there. I had to say it all the time when people come over and they'd be like, "You want to smoke?" I'm like, I need both these brain cells to work to be able to even try to string together a sentence. The Black Moods, I've loved this band for many a year and many a years, and they've been they're one of these success stories of being a great local band to becoming a great national band, and still, being close to their local roots, putting on just great shows. They made me re-believe in the power trio, because, the power trio is when you have a guitarist and a singer in one, right? A bass player and a drummer, right? Just the basic core. And to be able to create a symphony of sound with those three instruments combined is not an easy feat. And to do it so well, that's what the Black Moods brings to the table. And they're going to be performing this Saturday. And is this a reason? Like, is there any kind of anniversary or release or special occasion attached to this gig, or just an opportunity for you to come down and rock your fans in Tucson?
Well, we haven't been back down to Tucson in a while, so we try to do it every 6 months or so, at least, or as much as we can.
Yeah.
When touring about April, touring starts to pick up, and it's already 100 degrees, so we usually get the hell out of town. Or
yes,
the entire summer. We won't be back until the end of June, and that's just Pine Top. But we're back out again until September. October is when it kind of. Nowadays it's October before it starts to cool off, but we got a new single coming out. I think, it was supposed to come out today, and because of a glitch in the matrix, something happened. And so it's, if you get it on Spotify, it's kind of messed up right now, but I think you guys will have the real version. So
that's great then, because coming up here in a few minutes, we're going to play Daylight, the new single from the Black Moods. That's not even on Spotify. So we're literally going to give a world debut to this single.
That's correct. So it's kind of celebrating that. And then, again, we love Tucson, and we haven't been down there in a while. So anytime we come down, it's a celebration.
Yeah, nice. And then, after your Tucson show and as you gear up for the summer, you're going to be doing, a summer tour around the country. Are you not doing Circus Mexicus this year?
No, not this year. We usually I think we did it last year, maybe, or
yeah.
Things start to run together, but it's just we wound up being in the Midwest this year, so it didn't work out. But
nice.
Something like that.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, hell, with this album too, you went out to LA to record this. You have some major producers. Who's involved in making this record?
Well, Jim Kaufman, that we've worked with for forever. He was the first producer. We were his first band that he produced, actually, other than his own.
Yeah.
Years ago, but he worked on this, and because we're doing 2 EPs, we're putting the EP out now. It's going to be out, and then we're doing another EP that we're going to release. So it's 7 songs and 7 songs, and then we're going to put it together on a vinyl. And so,
okay, nice. Yeah, so you got one side, you got 2 sides to the vinyl.
Yeah, and it's kind of this, and then so some of it we worked with Jim on, and then some of the other songs that we put out earlier or put out last year, we worked with Seth Rieger, who he's had songs. He's wrote for Bruno Mars, and we worked out of a place from a group called the Stereotypes that done Mary J. Blige and Bruno Mars, and just a bunch of really pop, Justin Bieber, pop acts. So it was a different kind of way of working, because again, like you said, we're a 3-piece rock and roll band, and so that's
power trio.
Yeah, that's how we usually approached our last 3 records, or 4, I guess now. So we wanted to do something a little bit different and kind of, try something new. So we did, and the stuff we did with Jim, it's still us 3, but we just kind of use the studio as an instrument as well as us playing our own, just guitar and bass and drums and keys and that kind of thing. So
All right. Well, we're going to find out. So we're going to do this debut right after these words. I got to play a couple words from our sponsors, and then we'll come back with Josh Kennedy of the Black Moods debuting a single you can't even hear on the interwebs right now. Will it sound poppy? Will it still have the same energy of the Black Mood songs that you know and love? We're going to find out all together and react to it right after these words. You can join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here on Rock 102.1. Clear. Yeah, see, now I got some questions and cliffhangers. I created a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Will it sound like Justin Bieber? Find out next. Beef Vegan presents. Which I have a good feeling it's not going to sound like Justin Bieber at all. But it's crazy, though, because working with a producer that's so familiar with working all with these mainstream, massive, successful pop artists, did he teach you a trick or two to approach your songwriting a little differently? Or the way that you orchestrated or composed everything, was that different?
Yeah, in a way that we the way that we worked was kind of rapid fire, and these guys go into the studio, and so it was just weird. It was weird, but it was great. Don't get me wrong, but it's different than what we're used to. We're used to writing songs, playing them over and over again, going out and road testing them and get them to where we want them. Then we go in and record.
Right.
We go to LA and say, well, I'll be out there for 5 days. And we meet them at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. And they come in and everybody has their coffee or whatever the hell they're doing. Or we have our tequila, our 10 in the morning tequila. And we're like, okay. And then somebody grab a guitar and they just mess around. And say, oh, that's cool. And then everybody's got their phones out and we start humming melodies and everybody's coming up with lyrics, and it's just fast action, go, go, go. And you do that for 8 hours. And then you cut a demo of it. And then the next day you do the same thing with another one. And it's just it's so quick and fast. And when we were doing the last round when we were there, my dad called me because the studio's not that big, but there's just a couple different rooms, it's in Los Angeles. And so I tripped over Bruno Mars walking outside talking to my dad on the phone. He was sitting down on the ground smoking a cigarette. And I was
it's crazy that he smokes, dude.
I was like, oh, like a freight train, man. Every time I went out there, he was smoking another cigarette.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but super nice guy. But again, it's just one of those random things. You never know who was going to pop up at the studio or who you're going to trip over, on the phone outside while they're smoking cigarettes. It was cool.
I knew that he partied, right? Because he got busted for a blow in Vegas and stuff like that. And, he likes to party, and he is more of a rock star than he is a pop star. That's a fact. But, he also has he's a very powerful singer, and to smoke that much is wow, man, that's that's not the long-term game plan there. You know what I mean? You're going to sound like me before you know it, Bruno. We haven't heard any hit songs from Bruno in quite some time.
Yeah.
He dances and stuff. And I'm just how I run out of breath. I don't smoke. So it's
right.
I run out of breath getting out of bed.
Yeah. I'm winded watching a Bruno Mars video, but that's only because I'm masturbating so hard. So you want to follow up to that? Go ahead, Valdez.
So is there a song in your library that kind of surprises you, that has stood the test of time? Every time you guys start to play it, the crowd pops and you're like, wow, this one really?
Oh, of course, he's got hits. Answer real quick because we're going to get on and introduce Daylight.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess say it for the last time because the video we put out, everybody has seen the video. So the whole crowd, you got 800 people jumping up and down and stuff. That's always cool. That's a trip.
Yeah. All right, let's get on the air and set this up here. It's not every day that we get to do a world debut. Today is the day that we get to do this, and we do it in celebration for a couple things. The Black Moon's about to release a new EP, and they're coming to Tucson for the first time in a long time. So to rock the rock this Saturday night. It is a 21 and up event, I believe. Tickets are available for only $20, but they're almost sold out. So you kind of have to act quickly if you want to join us this Saturday at the Rock. We got Josh Kennedy from the Black Moods on the podcast broadcast with us, getting ready to set this up and debut this song. I even already have I got a 5-second intro on it, a ramp. It's all timed up perfectly.
Nice.
And then maybe this will be the next Black Mood song that gets into our rotation. It wouldn't be the first time you're in radio rotation on this station and other stations around the nation. Briefly, tell me about the quick backstory about Daylight. What's Daylight about?
Well, actually, the lines from the chorus, it says, "So leave me here at midnight, pick me up at day," or something to that effect. My son says that because he's just turned 7, and so he always wants to stay at my mom's house. So he's like, "You leave me at daylight, pick me up, or leave me at midnight, pick me up at daylight." And so I was like, that just kind of registered, and so it just kind of like, kind of morphed into this thing. It's the hook line is "Nobody sings like you do anymore," so it's kind of a homage to Chris Cornell type of thing. And I don't know, see for yourself. You can interpret it however you like.
Hell yeah! And are you going to give your son songwriting credit on this?
You know what? No way.
They're my residuals. How else you want me to pay for you? Well, excellent. Let's do this world debut right now. It's Daylight from the Black Moods on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Turn it up. All right, we're going to listen to this and look at the cover of the Tucson Weekly. So,
today's alright for Saturday night, but it's a cold July for sure. It's Stairway to Heaven and all the songs I've listened to 1,000,000 times before. I don't hear them say no more. So leave me here at midnight, come find me in the daylight. No one seems like you do anymore. You're not just another lover, come creeping undercover. No one seems like you do anymore. Try and stay with me. Give me a chance to tell you what you already know. Don't hold it against me. The sun doesn't shine in the sky like it did before. Well, I was always here walking the floor, but you can't hear my footsteps anymore. So leave me here at midnight, come find me in the daylight. No one seems like you do anymore. You're not just another lover, come creeping undercover. No one seems like you do anymore. You can find me after midnight, standing in the moonlight. No one makes me feel the way that you do. You're not just another lover, I can't think of any other that makes me feel the way that you do. Oh, don't leave me in the midnight, awake with me in daylight. No one ever sings like you anymore. No, you're not just another lover. You know I need you like no other. No one makes me feel the way that you do. Nobody makes me feel the way that you do. Nobody makes me feel the way that you do.
Rock 2.1. I'm getting roasted by our stream. Rock 2.1 KF, man. I'm getting roasted by our streamers now. Like, I could control the volume of the song. I don't know what was happening there, Todd. Stop telling me to F off, man. Yeah, I heard it. Could you hear it, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know our radio audience heard it very loud. So, yeah, that was Daylight. Brand new music from the Black Moods, a song that I assume you're going to be hearing live for the very first time this Saturday at the Rock, correct?
Indeed.
I love it, dude. Well, Josh, I appreciate you hanging out with us as always. I look forward to hanging out with you Saturday at the Rock. I might even see you tonight. Are you going up to Last Exit Live?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to. Our bass player's playing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm definitely going to see 1/3 of the band for sure tonight. And then, so it's a full weekend of Black Moods for me. So congratulations on the record. Excited to hear the rest of it. And, I hope Bruno Mars heard this record because this is how good you could sound if you don't smoke so much. Throwing it out there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So for everyone out there listening, how can they follow along and be ready for the EP when it drops and any other information you can give us before we let you go?
Theblackmoods.com, and all the socials have the handle, the Black Moods on it. So whether it's, Instagram or Facebook or Farmers Only or Pornhub or whatever it might be, you can find it there,
I love it. Oh, yeah. Well, let's get ready to drink some tequila together before the terrorists make it like $70 a shot for Cuervo. We're going to have to switch our spirits, dude. I guess whiskey is okay, But I love you, brother. Thank you for joining us on the stream, and I look forward to seeing you this Saturday.
All right, love you. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Of course. Josh Kennedy, everybody, theblackmoods.com. We'll hit the reset. We got more with Chrissy and Valdez coming up right after Theory of a Dead Man and Rock 1 2.1. Clear. All right. And that was Josh, everybody. So I want to tease. So I'll be popping on teasing weed stuff. Right. Because Chrissy's here to talk about a bunch of weed stuff and what to look forward to. You got a whole sheet of notes.
Oh,
don't think
I come prepared.
Yeah, you come prepared, and don't think I don't notice this. In fact, actually, I will tease it first. I'll pop on and be like, "Hey, there's a lot of stuff that we need to tell you on the DL." This is the best way I could present it without, getting my boss's buttholes clenched, because weed in the FCC is very weird.
Right. Okay.
Until it's federally legalized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yes, it's legalized here. It's legalized in many states until it's federally legalized, which was a promise from previous this administration, the administration before, blah, blah, blah. They keep not doing it for whatever reason. But until it's federally legalized, the FCC won't allow us to accept weed money, because then at any given point in time, it can be seized. Because it's not federally legalized, which is upsetting because, as far as businesses that are prospering here in Tucson or any major city that legalizes marijuana, it is these companies, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no. You can't advertise weed, but dick pills for days. All right. All the dick pills. They got dick pill honey now. Did you know that? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Viagra honey packets. Oh yeah.
For the classy British gentleman, he's like, "Oh, let me put this blue chew honey in my tea."
Exactly. Yeah, I want to make my tea a little stiff in the morning, right?
I'm going dogging later. I must have this.
Dogging. That's very
Yeah,
classy.
that's a throwback. Remember?
Did we say dogging as a?
My British friend even called in and confirmed what dogging is.
Oh yeah. It's funny you say that, because I do want to. I have Chrissy here. You just help us out real quick. I did come across this list of what women reveal, what they think makes men good in bed. Okay, so just say yay or nay.
I like the look on her face, like, "Oh, I don't like this topic." I thought we were going to talk about weed.
Okay, you don't want to yay or nay this?
No, what? I'd want to hear it. Yeah.
Okay, don't speak for her, Valdez. This is our expert. This is how we're going to learn. Okay,
Totally.
so we need a female confidant to
Our
let us know.
sexpert, so to speak.
Well, I'm not saying you're a sexpert, but you're a woman, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they did a survey that revealed that men orgasm way more than women do. Well, it's not breaking news here,
Yeah.
and that's something that needs to change. And women offered their perspective on 15 actions and how important they are. Okay, rank these. I'm going to give you 3. And then you let me know which one is the most important as far as which one has the highest percentage. All right. Let's see. PG levels of dirty talk, oral, foreplay. So those are 3 things: foreplay, oral, PG levels of dirty talk. Which one's most important?
Oral.
That was actually second place. 82% said that getting mouth love from their guy is much desired and appreciated, but that's still almost 100%. Foreplay, 86%. They say it's very important, should never, ever be skipped. Is this the same thing when you get in your car before you drive? You got to warm it up. You know,
Uh-huh.
even like I think this is how I blew out my engine, or my coil, because sometimes I'm in a rush to get to work because I don't want to be late like some people, and because Valdez was late this morning,
Mhm.
and so I'll get in the car and just pop it in reverse real quick and go. But I really should sit there for a little bit, warm it up, tell it it's beautiful, and then pop it in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And foreplay is important. It's kind of like the appetizer to the main course. You know, it's like the free chips and salsa.
Yes, free
Yeah.
chips and salsa is the best analogy for foreplay for sure. We're back on the air, by the way. Rock 102.1 KFMA. And we got a very important list that we're going to be running down with Chrissy from Tucson Doobie about. But what's more important about that is the stuff that we're not going to be talking on the air, because obviously a holiday weekend is coming up next weekend. And you know what we're talking about, wink, wink. And with that said, there's a lot of cool events happening in town. And, Chrissy got the heads up on some stuff that we're going to talk about only on the podcast broadcast. You could join us, youtube.com/bevegan. In fact, we will do that right now, and then we'll come back with the Valdez report after these words. So join us, youtube.com/bevegan, so we could talk all things 420 together. Clear. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's and give it a second. There really was nothing on this list that I'm just like that I was surprised by, but maybe it's just because I'm such a good lover in general. This one I believe in, but also like don't necessarily practice what I preach, but they say be in reasonable shape. This is what women are saying. Like, you don't have to be a total gym rat, but 90% did say that having enough stamina to not collapse in the middle of it from exhaustion would be appreciated. So like sex cardio, which when I was dating, like some women didn't realize that reference where I'm like, I could get my cardio up. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, you don't understand them. I bought you a ticket to Pound Town and I can only take you halfway there. You know what I mean?
I got 2 tickets to Pound Town.
It's like, yeah, I can't even get to Pound Town. I'm around Pound Town, I took you to Cuddle City, All right, so Cuddle City. It's the first stop, and it's miles away from Pound Town. Trust me.
Cuddle City. It's in Makeout County.
Yeah. and right next to you, Let's Be Friends Lane. All right, let's talk 420. Now, Tucson Doobie and Tucson Foodie have a 420 event that's happening, and it's going to be on a Sunday, correct? Or 419.
It's on 419.
Which is good because Saturday, right? Which,
yes, it's a Saturday because we're dealing with 420 on Easter this year.
I know. But, I get so high sometimes I feel like I'm dead and resurrected again. So it makes sense. Yeah. So the Easter Sunday highs are, you definitely don't want to compete with that. So a Saturday night 420 event, pre-420 event sounds amazing. Yeah. This week it's next week it's going to be a different location because you had your previous events at like MSA Annex.
Right.
Where's this one at?
This is at Whistle Stop.
Yeah. So Whistle Stop looks cool, but I don't think I've ever been there. You ever been to Whistle Stop, Valdez?
I have not.
Yeah. Based off of your face, I could tell, because you're like, huh? So pull that up and share the pictures for me because Whistle Stop kind of looks like an older building, almost looks like a train station.
So it is. So yes, it's right by the trains. It's in the Dunbar Springs neighborhood. It's right by the tracks. So just directly north of downtown. And it is kind of an older building, but the really cool thing about it is it's a lot of refurbished Tucson history at the Whistle Stop. So the woman that owns it, if she were doing something there, she would take that material and reuse it. So it's a sustainable thing. It's a really eclectic. It's huge. It's got a lot of winding paths, got premium sound system inside. It's a great place.
Yeah, click on that picture that has like the little tower there, right? Right. See where
this one or this one?
Go over to the right. Boom, another
next one.
Yeah, the next one. That one.
This.
Yeah,
that's the inside.
Yeah, that's the inside. Go the one next to that. Nope.
I'm just gonna click.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there's the big tower.
I recognize it now. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Is that not Barrio Brew House?
It's not.
It looks like it though, right?
Wow.
It is an
that's cool.
industrial vibe.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of metal and exposed beams and stuff. It's pretty rustic. It's had a lot of Tucson history. It's been through a lot. There was a fire
Is it
there. It
haunted?
was rebuilt. I hope so.
Yeah, that would be dope.
That'd be
Yeah,
a
how cool
little-
is that? If
Yeah.
you're just like really high and then all of a sudden it's like a little tap on your shoulder, there's a ghost.
Yeah, so you're taking over that entire venue, huh?
The whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I know we got DJ Jamar out there. He'll be laying down the
Yes.
beats and then bringing in some surprise guests to perform with them.
Yes.
You also have a live reggae music happening as well.
We do. We have Urban Life.
Yeah, Urban Life, nice. They're fantastic.
And we also have Desert Music Project.
Yo.
A nice duo from Tucson. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're crossing a lot of genres there. DJ
I love
Jamar
that.
will be there with the hip hop performances.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then how long does this run from?
It's from 2 to 8.
2 to 8. Okay, yeah. Why so early? No, I mean, why does it end so early? Yeah.
Because the next day is Easter, you
Yeah.
know, so we were kind of like, oh, people have their family in town, got to be rested to find the eggs in the morning.
This
and-
definitely works just for the stoner crowd too, because they're like 8. Why so late?
right? I mean, they would start at 6 a.m.
Yeah, which is great too, because I have the final season or the final game of the Tucson Roadrunners happening on Saturday night as well.
Okay.
But I'll be able to go there for a good like 4 or 5 hours before the game.
Oh, perfect.
My math is off. I could go there for a good 3.5 hours,
Okay.
which will feel like 9 hours if I partake. Right. So my last Tucson Roadrunners game is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And you can have Valdez's undivided attention. I could be there for you the whole time.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to stalk you.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's great. And
Okay.
so, Valdez, are you more of a pro when it comes to?
I'm new to the game because I was a boot for like 13 years, so we had to like keep clean. But
Mhm.
now that I don't do law enforcement anymore, I'm like, what can I eat or smoke?
There you go. Okay.
Nice. So you do. When's the last time you smoked? I didn't know you smoked.
The last pre-roll they gave us at the last one, I think it was like 3 months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys for special occasion smoker. So yeah, it's not there. Don't do any dabs while you're there. I'll give you like.
Oh, that
amateur-
was
Or do
horrible.
it.
Oh.
Really?
That was way too much
No.
for me. I was just in a different realm.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with Josh. I don't know how you do it. You were such a ray of sunshine when
Aw.
you're smoking and partaking, and your energy and the way you communicate so smooth and like when I still recall doing the infused dinner at Dante's Fire.
Yes.
Chrissy had to save my life. She had to load me up with CBD drops just to bring me down, dude.
No
just to bring me
way.
down because I was like, I can't do. I was whiting out. You know what a whiteout is, right? So like my vision would I would not be able to see it. There would be like a white tornado in front of my eyes, so I couldn't see 5 feet in front of my face, dude.
Wow.
While I'm sitting at the table waiting for the next entree, and then who knows how terrified I looked, but when I did come to and I didn't fall asleep or nothing, I was still there in my head being like, get it together, man, there's people here. Right? When I could see again, I look across and there's a very
man.
beautiful woman looking very concerned in my direction. You know what I mean? So my face was probably something like this, like as I'm blind, like Stevie Wonder, like for like 5 minutes or something. Nobody's asking me if I enjoy the appetizers. just imagine this. And I was like trying to look good and cute to this woman earlier. Like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, you might have heard of me and I do a little radio show. Not a big deal. Hold on a second. Let me hit this. I don't know her name. I never saw her again, and I'm sure I'm blocked on all social media from her. But yeah. So, you go in there, and again, I talk a big talk, but I mean, I've been like, I'm a second generation stoner, and then back in my peak, and I never stopped partaking. The only time I had to not smoke is if I was in trouble with the law and had to do P tests and shit like that. So, my parents smoked their entire life. And, my first hookup, unbeknownst to them, was them, right?
Oh,
I would just pinch the shit out of their stuff.
totally.
They're always loaded up. So, it's in my DNA. I mean, I'm sure my mom smoked when she was pregnant with me, too, which is not great, but, I'm sure she did. And so, I go into these things like I'm home. This is great. Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't got this at all, man. You know what else is coming out on 420? Just an honorable mention, the Cheech and Chong movie. There's the last Cheech and Chong's Last Ride, I think is what it's called. And it's a documentary / movie. Did you see this? Did you know this?
No.
Okay,
tell
so
me.
this is going to happen on 420. And instead of telling you, I want to watch the trailer with you.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we could do that.
Let's do it.
Cheech and Chong last movie trailer.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it is very, very cool. Here, let's, I just got to get this commercial here. Whoop. Share screen. All right, here we go. Too loud.
That's a government survey, man.
Their films have earned over $200 million.
The first rock and roll comedians, no doubt about it.
You sure we're going the right way?
We're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
No, we're southwest of fucking nowhere. We're not in the middle yet. So is this a documentary or a movie?
I don't know, man.
All we can do is be funny.
Am I driving okay?
Back in the day, comedians weren't respected. And we weren't afraid to get gross with them. Hey, this is what they really laugh at. What do we call ourselves?
Richard and Tommy? No.
Tommy and Dick? No. Cheech and Chong.
That was it.
We were making up this method as we were going along.
I got the tape recorder set up.
Dave, come on, man, open up your mouth.
Dave's not here.
On the Billboard-charts?
The movie comes out, it's a giant hit. Giant.
It's not hard to see what drugs do to you, you know.
Make you rich.
But money and success might spoil them.
You still won't grow your mustache back.
You drive me nuts.
We're no longer partners.
Nothing lasts forever, Tommy. Nothing lasts forever.
I never met anybody quite like him.
It's very painful sometimes. But he's my best friend.
It's yin and yang, Cheech and Chong.
All that stuff that happened, why don't we just let it go?
Come on, baby, I'll give you a ride. Let's go.
Cheech and Chong.
The old stone charmers.
You recognize her?
How far are we?
It was in
Got a joint?
the movie they did.
Oh, I think I dropped some gummies.
Bring a bud, see it first on 420. So there you go.
Dude, I got to see that. Oh.
Yeah, so it's great for comedy fans, obviously, but it's a movie-mentary. So it looks like they'll be doing some bits too and doing that. And
I did a movie with Sal Lopez, and I got to talk to him between takes, and he said Cheech is a really nice guy because he was in Born in East LA with them.
Yeah.
Everything you hear about Cheech being nice, he confirmed it.
Yeah, well, and I got to hang out with Tommy Chung and
that's
got stoned with him. Yeah.
You had to go to a parent-teacher conference?
Yeah.
How did that go? Were you sitting there again like,
Oh, it was terrifying. It was terrifying. I've already told the story on the podcast too many times, even made a clip about it. But yeah, like my whole, like, I had my MO in my head. Like, my defense was that Tommy Chong was with me. So,
Right.
yeah, so that was it.
when in Rome?
Yeah, Rock 102.1 Camp, man. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Hanging out here with Chrissy from Tucson Doobie. And we just watched the Cheech and Chong trailer for their last movie, Cheech and Chong's Last Ride, which is a documentary / movie-mentary. And it's being released everywhere on April 25th, but there will be a kind of like a special screening on 420. So you could see it first with your buds.
How do we get to do that?
I don't know. Actually, I don't work with Cheech and Chong, but I'm just a fan, you know? So that was just geeking out as a fan. You're a fan too. You're a fan as well. The original stoner duo. Since then, there have been many imitators and duplicators. So with that in mind, who are some of your favorite stoner duos of all time? Now, Cheech and Chong, they're going to be at, like, it's the stoner duo of Mount Rushmore. Okay. So in fact, actually, I could probably just blind rank you, but we'll say Cheech and Chong is on there for sure. Who's next to Cheech and Chong on the stoner duo Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I have to Google the guy's name because I'm totally
Yeah, give me a description.
spacing on it. Okay, he's an actor. He does a whole bunch of pottery, and he makes all these like
Seth
little...
Rogen.
Wait, Seth Rogen. He does Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
He's on Mount Rushmore.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you got to say duo. So with Seth Rogen, are we saying Seth Rogen and James Franco, they're no longer friends, but they definitely put out a bunch of stoner movies? Or are we going to say, I guess that's it. Yeah, Seth Rogen and James Franco. Sorry, Rogen, you're stuck with Franco, so you might as well call him back.
Maybe they can make up.
Here, we probably got some suggestions on the phone. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Willie Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's a duo.
Yeah, we need a duo. So who would be riding with Willie?
Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob. Yes, Jay
There
and
we
Silent
go.
Bob
That's
is
a
on
good
there.
one.
Yeah, that one was on the tip of my tongue, but I know there's plenty more than that.
Oh, what about Harold and Kumar?
Harold and Kumar, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know it's not a duo, but Cypress Hill.
Well, kind of. Nobody counts the DJ. So Send Dog and Be Real.
It works.
Yeah, they're kind of a duo.
Yeah, right on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. Also, Willie and Snoop. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Here, we got another phone call. Oh, they hung up. All right. What was it? Shaggy and Scooby. So.
Oh, bro, ICP.
Well, again, we're not talking music duos. We're talking like comedy duos. But
it had to be comedy?
yeah, and you know what? They don't even smoke that much. So, I mean, they're drinking Faygo. They're known for a lot of things, but weed is not necessarily
I don't
one
know.
of them.
Violent J was pretty.
Yeah, I'm sure at this point in time, but he doesn't definitely get the reputation of being a stoner.
Right.
Rockwell 2.1, what's your name?
It is Slim.
Slim. All right, so who's your stoner duo?
Thinking Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted, yes.
Nice.
Okay. Even though they never smoked weed in Bill and Ted's, they look like they were perma stoned, right?
So, Slim,
Yeah,
are you
Yeah,
shady
they're
by any
born that
chance?
way, bro.
Oh,
Huh? That's a terrible joke, Valdez. Say that again, Slim.
I said they were born that way.
Yeah, they're born that way. Born stoned. I was born stoned too. Fun fact. Still haven't snapped out of it. Appreciate the call, Slim. Let's answer this phone call. Rock 1 2.1. Who would you put on the stoner duo Mount Rushmore?
Either Beavis and Butthead or Tad and Bill.
Well, it's Bill and Ted, and this is Tammy.
Bill
so you
and
got it
Ted.
backwards. And Beavis and Butthead for sure. Yeah. Even though I think they were just huffing gas and things like that and paint. Thanks for the call, Tammy. All right, we're going to keep this conversation moving on to podcast broadcast. So we were talking about an event that's on April 19th. It's top secret. We can't tell you here, but we will give you all the list, all the details and all the fun goodies that are going to be partaking on the podcast broadcast. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Wrapping things up with the beef tip after music from Smashing Pumpkins on Rock 1 2.1. Clear. Yeah, got some calls there, got some help. So I was thinking, obviously Jay and Silent Bob, right?
Uh-huh.
That was just an easy one. But I know that we're missing some. Beef and Valdez. That's what James said. All right. Yeah, on 419, yeah, that might be the deal. Let's see. Somebody's calling. Rock 1 2.1. Who's this?
Sean.
Sean, who would you add to the stoner duo Mount Rushmore?
I'd say Jim Brewer and Dave Chappelle.
Who and Dave Chappelle?
Jim Brewer.
Yeah, okay. So for Happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I wish they did more, but that's on Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer never smoked weed. Famously never smoked weed. I got a funny Jim Brewer story.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had Jim Brewer in studio back in the day. And, I was a big fan. A lot of people would say I looked like Jim Brewer, specifically in Half Baked. I know you don't see it right now. I was a little skinnier, right? When people said I looked like that dude in Half Baked. So when Jim Brewer was sitting across from me, I told him that people have said that I look like him. And you would have thought that I told him that I fucked his mother. He was so angry that I said this. And I'm just like, how ugly am I, dude? And he's like, well, I know that I'm not as ugly as you. Like, Jesus. He was offended, dude. And I meant it as like a sincere compliment.
Right.
Like, hey, and from one good looking guy to another. And he's like, fuck you, dude. You are not good looking. Oh, all right, Jim Brewer.
Rough.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for jogging that memory. Appreciate the call. Yeah. So that's just some other duos. Harold and Kumar, I think, are totally up there. Jay and Silent Bob. So let's say there's a legit 3 right now. And that means I'm vetoing Seth Rogen and James Franco, even though Pineapple Express was pretty good.
Since we're doing like fictional characters, what about Calso and Hyde from 70s Show?
Yeah, but see, you're picking 2 out of 4, right? So you're alienating Foreman and Fez. It's like you got to give them a break. In fact, actually, if we're going to cancel anybody, let's take Hyde out of the picture just because of real life Danny Masterson, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was always a Foreman guy. I liked Foreman. You know, Kelso was good. Of course, he was, you know, likable, good looking dude. Ashton Kutcher, he did okay for himself.
I can relate to Fez.
There you go. You know what Fez stood for?
Foreign exchange student.
That's right. Yeah.
And when he said his name in the first episode and the bell was ringing, he was just saying all of their real life names.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know, okay. Any other That 70s Show fun facts
So
that you have
hot
in there?
hot as Mila Kunis was not legal to be on the show. They're like, "Are you going to be 18?" She's like, "I will on my birthday," and she was only 14.
Yep.
So by that time, they already like signed her and like she's too perfect, so they just left her in.
Yeah, exactly. And she was already making out with Ashton Kutcher at this time, and now they're married. And was not that not grooming?
I mean, it worked out.
It's still grooming, technically, right? The woman that's you're an adult man making out with when she's 14 ends up forever loving you. That's called
for
grooming.
a job.
I understand that. It's still called grooming. You know.
Wow.
Nobody mentions it. Nobody talks about it because, of course, Ashton Kutcher was banging Demi Moore for a while, and by the time he got back with Mila Kunis, she was already a full-blown adult and looking her finest, by the way. But still, grooming. Inadvertent grooming, but grooming nonetheless. Rock 102.1, what's your name?
Hey, this is Hector, also known as Camera Optional.
What up, Camera Optional? What up, Hector? What's going on?
So, my Mount Rushmore is going to be Alex and Dante from Grandma's Boy.
Ah, yes. You know, because that's one of the best stoner films of all time. Grandma's Boy. Have you seen it, Chris?
I have not seen it.
How have you not seen
it?
it?
Sorry. I know. I need to. I'm writing it down. Putting it in my list.
Yeah, but you're not.
She's deprived.
Yeah, look,
I am.
you're not a certifiable stoner. Like you partake. A certifiable stoner, especially one that represents a brand like Tucson Doobie, needs to know what Grandma's Boy was all about.
Noted.
And I think it still kind of holds up. In fact, actually, I was tempted to put it on the other day. I think I saw it on Amazon. And I know that I watched that movie probably 100 times, and it just got funnier every time. It was really good.
Dude, it is the best movie ever.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is. They have some really kind of outrageous, laugh out loud scenes that is there. So, like, honestly, we have to put together another 420 list, even though 420 lands on a Sunday this year. And 420 is, you know, not only is it a stoner holiday, but it's also my radio anniversary. That's when I started hosting my own morning show.
Ah.
Yeah. And I made sure to have my start date on 420 so I wouldn't forget. That's how much of a stoner I am. But yeah, we usually, when we had 420 shows, we've done lists before and throw them out first couple of years or something. I'd like to revise some lists, though. Throw a couple stoner classics.
I dig it. I mean, anyone in that movie is good.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Fantastic all the way through. It's Adam Sandler produced. Nick Swartzen was amazing in that. As before Swartzen went completely off the rails. But yeah, I definitely recommend everybody check out Grandma's Boy. Excellent call.
The grandmother and her roommates were hilarious.
Yes, they got high so much, and you know they were even getting down. I don't want to do any spoilers. You got to check out Grandma's Boy.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
So you wrote. Thanks.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Thanks, Hector. All right, what are some of the notes that you wrote down since you were on the show this morning? Because I noticed that you're taking notes as we're going.
I wrote Grandma's Boy movie.
Okay. You're like done and done. Yeah.
What about Nick Offerman and his wife? They're like real life stoners.
No, I wouldn't consider them.
I'm
like
just
a
gonna
pop
stop
culture
saying
duo.
stuff because it gets crapped on.
Well, okay, I didn't crap on you. I just disagree because I don't think that's their public persona. Privately, that's great, but they didn't put together anything that it's not part of their gimmick.
Offerman's a public stoner.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Well, I mean, it's a strong argument there, Valdez. Let's just say agree to disagree, and I appreciate you, and I love you too. Yeah, I love you as well.
I will kill you in your sleep.
I love you too. Okay. He said I love you off the air.
Aww.
So yeah, I'm saying I love you too.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, I didn't say it first. We had a great show on this Friday, getting into a very busy weekend, a lot of stuff happening. So make sure you guys go out and enjoy yourself and prepare because the festivities continue all this week. going into the next weekend, and there's lots of information to be found at TucsonFoodie.com. So make sure you check that out and be ready. Of course, I'd like to thank our guest today, Josh Kennedy of the Black Moods. I'll be seeing him rock the stage at the Rock on Saturday night. Before that, I'll be checking out the home opener for the Tucson Sugar Skulls.
Yeah.
Like, thank Cody for coming in.
Number 55.
That's right. And root for number 55 while you're there. And of course, Chrissy, thank you for coming in and hanging out as well. Valdez, thank you for coming in at 6:01. I appreciate you. All right. For the rest of you guys, don't forget to subscribe and like the YouTube page, youtube.com/beefvegan. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish
there's no beef tip. You know what the beef tip was going to be? Which is not even a beef tip. Like, everyone knows this. Masturbate before bed. It will help you sleep better.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Like, duh.
Or just spark one before bed.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah, see?
Not if it's a